Season's greetings, everybody. It's September, and you never know, before long, the first Christmas advert will be appearing on TV. Okay? Weather's taking a turn for the worse, or looking very, very autumnal out there anyway. It's Tuesday night, it's 10 o'clock, it's Steady Eddie here. We're having a lively little inoffensive little old show tonight. First of all, let's say hello to people. Gemini Star, good evening. Wandering Nomad, Alistair Taylor, Tom Easton. Not long now for everyone heading out in November. I think you're talking about Thailand there. Leeds, Sandra Taylor, nice to hear from you. Leo Malley. Neil Fleet. Neil Fleet. Nice to hear from you, Neil Fleet from Waverty. Evening, Ed, how's the thunder where you are? Only at the sound of Lisa Dale's footsteps. No, just kidding. There was a bit of thunder and lightning last night, but I was indoors, so I didn't pay any attention. Tom Easton, Popcorn, good evening. Will the revolution be televised? Apparently, there's been some riots somewhere, but they've been sort of suppressed, haven't they? They haven't been given a great deal of publicity as long as they all bloody keep away from me. Sean Moore, Cats and Good Coffee, Gaz77, Liz Trust turns me on. Really, maybe you better take it to Asda with you. David Coleman, nice to hear from you, David. I had a good time for me. It's beautiful here in Toronto. Oh, well, good for you, mate. Good for you. Good for you. Martin McCormick, Mick M, Bernard Purcell, Boo-hoo, Leo Malley. Did you see the mad flooding in Pattaya? Someone else mentioned that. To be honest with you, is that really, really unusual? I mean, I've been in Pattaya. When it rains, I mean, bang, the streets do get flooded. But it sort of clears up. I haven't been paying attention to that, really. But, I did not really see much of it. David Coleman, did Liz give you a job, yeah? No, somehow maybe. Maybe a cabinet removal, man, but I don't think any more than that. Lisa Dale's Gambian Lover. Here's to another great live stream. Beard in hand, feet up. I have a huge wang too. Good for you. I'm sure the lovely Lisa will appreciate that. Ian UK. Hi, Ed. I'm loving the intro too. Good evening. Okay, thank you. Mark Howard. Good evening, Eddie. Those were the days. Oh, yeah. Mark is publishing a column this week about, retrospective stuff. I think it's about TV or whatever. We'll find out this week on Facebook. But I've been doing a little bit of retro stuff myself. So I brought out a few little, well, let's just say a little blast from the past for those who were kids in the 60s and 70s. Something that might give you a bit of a laugh. That's coming up later. Paul Hoskin. Paul Hoskin, nice. Oh, he's love stuff. You've got a bit of competition, Paul. There's a Gambian lover with a big wanger is in the chat. Cats and Good Coffee. Lee James, Capo 17. Harold Batterson, hell yeah. McLaren F1 race, nice to hear from you. Niall M, Bottle Baby. Dickie B. Even though he thought you might be in a James Bond outfit tonight. A James Bond outfit. Funny enough, I bought myself a new DVD player. And I have all the Bond movies. I was thinking of digging them all, digging some of them out. There's something that I meant to ask. Does anyone else suffer from the syndrome of old movie syndrome? I mean, what's your movies that you've seen about a dozen times before, and yet you still watch them, even though you know them word for word? I mean, I'm sure there's a syndrome, something. For somebody who obsessively watches old movies and TV series over and over again. I mean, what kind of, boring old man syndrome, something like that? No, but anyway, I bought myself a new DVD player from Amazon. I mean, I've got Netflix, I've got Amazon, and, my DVD player packed in, so I bought a new one. So I might just dig out the old Bond collection this week. But thanks for asking anyway. Tom Easton, Home Bargains already have Christmas cheer on the show. Oh, I'm glad that I don't go into department stores anymore. Chris, any thunderstorms in your neck of the woods? I heard it's not that spectacular. I did hear a ripple of it. A loud bang the other night, but nothing really spectacular. Motel, good evening. Ed Sweeney's 20 stone white back in England. The man himself, the only Ed for me. Well, you can have Paul Hoskin as well, and two heads are better than one, aren't they? Spitz Energy, nice to hear from you, mate. Hope things are well in Thailand. Chiang Mai, I believe you are, yeah. Ivan, David Coleman, inoffensive. Why? Because we're happy tonight. We've got a new prime minister. All right, we talked about her yesterday. I mean, she's met the Queen. Did you see that photograph of Liz with the Queen? I mean, she looks like she's twice the size. Maybe it's the angle that the photograph was saying, but Liz looks like she's twice the size of the Queen. I mean, our Queen, she's about 96 now, isn't she? Or something like that. I mean, Liz towers above her, but I mean, the Prime Minister has to go all the way to Scotland to meet the Queen and then has to come all the way over. Doesn't seem quite right, that, does it? Anyway, Harold Betterton, Happy New Year. Wayne Davidson, good evening, Ed. It's good to see you looking well. Thank you. That's nice of you to say so. Yogi Bear, good evening. Oh, geez, this is making me hungry. But Clan F1 race, I'm on chicken, curry, egg, fried rice, and chips. Oh, that sounds lovely, that sounds right. I could eat that right now. But you know what? I have been good. Again, I've done plenty of stuff on the exercise bike. And the good thing about that is that when you do a fair bit of exercise and you have a goal in mind, like losing weight, you do a fair bit of exercise and then I think to yourself, well, am I going to spoil it now by overeating like a pig? And it kind of makes you eat less, really, I find. So, a couple of months' time, you never know, could be on my target, to get me lose a couple of stone. Barry from EastEnders, new T-shirt. Hope you all had a great Tuesday, gents. No, this is from Vietnam, about 10 years ago. Years ago. Still nice make because it still fits me. Daniel Kelly. Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, it's good to have, your flight isn't coming up anytime soon, isn't it, Daniel? Okay, well, best of luck to you, Daniel. I hope you get better soon anyway, mate. Hope you get better soon. Alistair Taylor, you're a sick man, Bo. Okay. Okay. Yeah, what's this? Paul asking, Lisa Dale is better than my vacuum cleaner. Lisa Dale's Gambian lover. Lisa's fairy is a bit smelly. Oh, jeez, don't make me sick, man. Don't make me sick. Scaffolder John, like and share. Yeah, that's the spirit. Like and share, man. Thanks for that anyway. Wayne Davidson. Ed, I'm heading out to Thailand November. Can't wait. Me too. Same, mate. Same. Lisa Dale's Gambian lover. It's actually horrendous. Well, you have to suffer for your passport, don't you? It's part and parcel of it. Who's this? David Martin. Hi, Eddie. Hope all as well. Thanks, mate. Anyway, so we're going to talk about light-hearted stuff tonight. Nothing too heavy, unless anyone wants to talk about anything about heavy. It's a couple of sorts of light-hearted questions. Well, when I say light-hearted, it's still very, very serious for some people. Something that you're not really expecting. Paul Mooney, nice to hear from you. Yoz Travels, good evening, Yoz. You finished your cruise now? I think Yoz is ready for another cruise soon. Good for him, mate. Good for him. Sounds lovely. Liz Truss, I made it. She did. I missed out this speech. I think her speech delayed a little bit because there was a bit of rain, wasn't there? Heavy rain, and they thought she couldn't do a speech outside. So there was talk she'd have to go inside Downing Street, inside the house, in order to do the speech, which is not what they normally do. But I only caught the back end of her speech, but apparently it was nothing spectacular. Andrew Hammond, nice to hear from you. Jonathan Barry. Hi, Ed. It's John here from Bedford, the prison officer. I love this show. You're a legend. Thank you for that, mate. Anyway, cheers. Very, very good. You got a great name. John Barry, one of the best composers of all time, really. Thanks for that, anyway. Mike from Wales. Mike from Wales. Hi, Ed. It's good to see you again. Did you go out walking today? I never actually made it, but I did. I did. What I've been doing, you know, indoors. As soon as I get out of bed, I'll have a couple of cups of coffee, check a few emails and all this kind of rubbish, and then put the TV on and just drag the exercise bike in front of the TV, and I'll give myself about 1.5 hours. You know, that's basically take about half an hour out for all the changing the channels and all this. You know, if you do an hour on the exercise bike to start the day, that's as good a start as any. But so I didn't actually make it outside today. David Coleman. Eddie, when will you get a real Wonga on your live show? It would be great. I think that'd get a bit hot-headed, that, wouldn't it? It would. Jesus, that'd get a bit heated, that would. Mark Hollick. Yes, Eddie, Friday's column is another nostalgia looking back. Mark writes some brilliant comments, a lot of technological stuff, you know, retro. I mean, I should have got that picture of Reg Varney, the actor who was the first man to use an ATM machine in England. But Mark's column is always very, very interesting, so always look forward to it. Bottle Baby, Midnight Cowboy. Cats and Good Coffee. Eddie, between Thai women and Filipino women, which one do you prefer? How about Cambodians? Whatever. Thai women, they're all lovely women. They're all lovely. I mean, if you meet a girl, you know, it doesn't matter where she's from. I mean, she's obviously doing something for you, for the very fact that you want to be with her and she wants to be with you. I met some lovely Filipino, but I don't have as much experience in that country as I do in Thailand and Cambodia. But Thais, Cambodians, wonderful stuff. Dickie B. Yeah, I love Easy Rider. Watch it every few months. Easy Riders, you know, wonderful stuff. Wonderful. I was very, very late catching on to that movie because I seen it many, many years later. I know I've seen a lot of in the late 70s. I've seen a lot of films that were made in the early 70s when I was old enough to see them. But Easy Rider is one that I didn't really catch up in years later, but it is so unashamed. Well, it's so retro, isn't it? But it's wonderful stuff. But it is a bit dated now. I think the last time I seen it, I was alarmed at the number of times Dennis Hopper says, "Hey man," or you know, wonderful stuff. It was still a great movie. They had to fallen out, didn't they? And this is quite typical. I think that, am I right in saying that Dennis Hopper is credited as being the director of that movie? But I think him and Peter Fonda had to fallen out. Who was most for the credit? This is the same with a lot of the music era of that time. It was all love and peace, man. But later, you know, the money came into it, and they started having bitter battles over who wrote what or who was responsible for what. But I do think that Dennis Hopper and Peter Fonda had a bit of a falling out over that movie years later. Paul Hoskin, I watched the last Good for you, mate. Good for you. It's just collie dogs. Collie dogs can be vicious bastards, beautiful. But you know, I've known a couple of collie dogs. You know, they look absolutely beautiful, but they're nasty little bastards. David Coleman. I watch Lawrence of Arabia and the movie Zulu all the time. Lawrence of Arabia, I can see that a couple of times, but Zulu, I can see that lots of times. Absolutely amazing movie. Amazing movie, Zulu. Fantastic. Everything about that film, you know, the tension is you know, the Zulus are coming to, you know, to attack the fort, and you know, the marching. What does Michael Caine say? There's that damn train again. It sounds like a train coming in the distance. Oh, absolutely amazing movie. Amazing. Farang Travels, nice to hear from you. Russ Thomas, good morning, Eddie, from a cold Melbourne, Australia. What month are we in now? September. But funny enough, I've never been to Australia, but we always think Australia is sunny all year round. That's probably very, very wrong. So let me see where we are. Paul Hoskin, I love a whole. Oh my God, man, that man is. Oh my God, Chris. When I was a kid, it was the Goonies. I watched it over and over again. Now I'm older. It's Great Expectations. The Goonies. That was. I don't think that was a Spielberg movie. I think it was. It's kind of like a Spielberg movie, isn't it? You know, I can't watch movies with loads of kids in them and all that kind of stuff. I think it was not a bad movie, but I didn't really pay much attention to that one. Ed Sweeney's 20 Stone White back in England. That is true. Even though you are beloved and my true love, Paul Hoskin likes motting my ass a lot more than you do, and Gaz also mots it too. Oh my God, I've got rival. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what, my darling. I won't be dabbling in you anytime soon after you've been with them two. Jesus Christ. Motel, what are you drinking tonight? I'm drinking a nice whiskey. Oh yeah, well, a bit short of ice, so I really looked. I put some more ice in the freezer, but I thought, why not just drink it straight? It's a famous grouse. Lovely, very, very nice. Perfect, lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Okay, Capo 17. Where Eagles Dare. That's bloody good movie. Richard Burton, Clint Eastwood, Ingrid Pitt. Jesus, what more can you possibly want? Yogi Bear, nice to hear from you. Ed, I got a full shelf of all movies, going right back to the first one I saw in the Picture House, Born Free. Whether it's bringing back memories from them days as we get older. I think, you watch your movies because of nostalgia. I mean, I'll be the first to admit I had a crap childhood. The cinema was like an escape, so I become like a little bit of a mini expert on the movies. I watched all the Clint movies. I love the Bond movies, many, many others. I used to like a lot more thought-provoking movies when I was a teenager. Things like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and Taxi Driver and that sort of stuff. Nowadays, I don't really watch films like that because when I watch a movie, I tend to watch it very, very late at night when I've had a few of these whiskeys and whatever. And I don't want a thought-provoking movie. I want something that's simply I can put the headphones on that's going to entertain me. You know what I mean? But I think you watch movies like that for nostalgic reasons. Nick Ross, nice to hear from you. Nice to hear from you. Paul Hoskin, they've frozen the energy bills, Ed. Okay, well, I seen the last time I looked on the news, it was Liz's speech outside Downing Street. I haven't caught up on what's happened since then, but yeah, let's hope Liz, delivers the goods. Alistair Taylor, Where Eagles Dare, classic. Okay. Now we're about 20 minutes in here, so I'm going to bring up something. It's a big question. It's not really topical, but I suppose it's something that's always topical. But we'll let's see. Let's just go a little bit. Let me see. Let me just have a look at this, okay? I think I've lost the chat here for some reason. I've lost the chat. I've fallen miles behind. Who's this now? We'll start with this one. David Heisenberg, looking like Russell. Even Eddie, and sorry I was not in yesterday. I've been up since 3 a.m. to do my 5:30 a.m. shift for 12 hours on my bus, taking holiday makers to and from the car park to the terminal at Gatwick Airport. Well, at least you're working and making a living, mate. That's good anyway. Nice to hear from you. Lewis C. Are you going to get that Lady Thai vlogger on as a guest when you were in Thailand? Not sure which one you mean. Not sure which one you mean. I did this. I bumped into another one, a young vlogger, a female one. She was in. I seen her in Koh Samui, and And I said, I'm Eddie. I have a YouTube channel. She kind of looked at me. Who the hell are you? Go away. No, she was actually all right. She was actually, can't remember her name offhand. Let's see. David Coleman. Eddie, are you looking for a rental condo in John TM? They look really nice. I want to investigate all of that. But don't forget, when I'm in Thailand, I think I won't be spending all my time in Thailand. I think I'll be heading into Cambodia. But I tend to, right now, all that I've booked for my travels, I have my return flight from November to March. I'm pleased to say it's a good airline. It seems really, really solid. I haven't had any nasty emails yet telling me that, it's cancelled or whatever. And the other thing that I booked the other day, to my surprise, I booked the first 6 nights in Bangkok. And the hotel seemed really, really good value. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. William, the BBC showed a photograph of Margaret Thatcher's 1980s cabinet this evening. 28 white men, and she was the only woman. Yes, sounds about right. Not going to comment too much, but that sounds about right. AJ, Ed, Liz Truss looks like a Cabbage Patch doll. No, she doesn't. Can you do a Bernie Winters? Okay, but the notorious Bernie Winters catchphrase. Let me just remind that Mike and Bernie Winters were a really crap comedy duo from the 1970s, and Bernie had a catchphrase that went something like "Ee!" Oh my god, he had the most gormless catchphrase of all. That was his catchphrase, honestly. David Coleman, Dennis Hopper turned out to be a lot smarter than all of them put together. He was very, very hip and very, very alternative and very radical, wasn't he, Dennis Hopper? But I think he ended up becoming renter baddie in movies like Speed. David, let's see. David Coleman, The Cruel Sea is a great movie. One of these days, I'm going to check out all of those old war movies. Boo, have you seen Napoleon Dynamite? I'd highly recommend it. I haven't seen that one. I've not seen that one. Thanks for that. The whole of Holy Mountain is the stem surreal movie. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Okay, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do now. I'm going to skip through the chat here. Let's see. Who's this? Cast Day. Who's that dirty rat? Who's this? There you go. Block someone there. Yeah, block that idiot there. Don't need people like that. Okay. David Coleman, how much is a pint now in a local pub? Well, if you go in Wetherspoons, you can get one for £2 or £3. But in some of the other places, it's really quite. If you go in some of the trendy places, it's quite expensive. Probably about £5. Tree Town, David. Okay, Neil, can you name Bernie Winter's dog and the type of dog? It was a Saint Bernard, and it was called Schnorbert. Yeah, not that I'm a fan of Bernie Winters. Okay, so listen. Just going to do a little question here. This is a big question. Okay, now it's not necessarily topical, but it's something that's always there, really. Okay, just what I want to talk about this. It's something that don't normally talk about, but it's where we're talking. I mean, now animals, cats, dogs, especially. I love animals. I love cats. I love pussycats. Absolutely love them to bits. Okay, and I love dogs. Some dogs, not all of them. I like dogs. I love animals. Now, sadly, I can't have animals. I can't have cats and dogs simply because of my lifestyle. I go traveling in the wintertime and sometimes in the summertime, and I just I can't have animals because it wouldn't be fair on the animal. I couldn't look after them, while I'm away so much. but I do love animals, right? Now, what it is, the question is, it seems to me, having spoken to some people over the years, that having a pet, a cat, a dog, yeah, or whatever, is an expensive luxury in this day and age. It is an expensive luxury. I mean, when I see, like, somebody who doesn't pay that much money with a bloody big German Shepherd, the first thing I think is, can you afford a dog like that? And there's a simple reason for this. We're gonna put this question here. And this is the question. This is the reason for it. Okay, because I've heard some terrible reports from people about cats and dogs. It's okay feeding it, maybe looking after, pampering the pooch, and all this kind of stuff. But when that cat or dog develops a serious problem, and you have to take that cat or dog to the vets, Jesus Christ, good luck to you. So the question that I'm going to ask you is, have vets become a rip-off? Okay. Now the reason I ask this is because I've met some people who have cats and dogs. Now there was a lot, families had cats and dogs. If a cat and dog had a really bad problem, you sadly had to put the thing down. But nowadays people look after their cats and dogs, and they take the cats and dogs to the vets. And I've heard people spending thousands and thousands of that. The vet holds these people over a barrel. They know that these people have such affection for their pussycats or their doggies that I know somebody whose Doberman had a problem with his leg, and he was charged £10,000. I mean, this is extortionate. What is it? What is it about vets? Yeah. Cattle coffee. I know people that spend thousands of euros trying to cure his dog. Absolutely. David Heisenberg, yes, okay. David Coleman, I'm a dog person, man's best friend. A cat will eat you if you die. Happens all the time to old people. Stephen Forex, rescue centres are overwhelmed now with lockdown pets, and people giving them up at a cost. As a cost of skyline. I mean, the thing is, when you brought up the cat and the dog, you did not look at the cat and the dog as an expensive luxury, but it is nowadays. And when you have to take that dog or cat to the vet, I've heard the most ridiculous. I've heard people paying thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds in order to cure their pet's illness. All kinds of bloody, strange reasons. Who's this? McLaren. I make a living out of vets. They rock. Who's this? The Raven's Claw. I never take my pet on to the vet. Chris, yes, because UK people are too soppy. Different stories in other countries. Leeds. Yes, vets are a rip-off. One of the reasons I'm asking this question is because I once, heard a very, very sad story from an old lady. An old lady who didn't have much money, and she took her pooch to the pet. Now it had a problem with its bones or its hips or whatever problems it had, and she was told in order to put her beloved pooch right, it's going to take many thousands of pounds. And this old lady just simply didn't have that money. She didn't have that money, so she had to put her dog down. Now imagine how hurtful that is to an old lady, to have to put your dog down, your beloved dog. She's probably got very, very little company in her old age, but she had to put her dog down simply because she couldn't afford that massive vet bill. It just seems to me that vets are a bloody rip-off. Leeds, yes, vets are a rip-off. Why are they a rip-off? Let's see. Kiki on the trail, you better have pet insurance. Labradors in particular develop joint issues in later years. You never heard the likes of it years ago. Like when I was a kid, and people like that, you never heard of people paying, extortionate amounts of money to take their dogs or cats to the vets. Stephen Forex, he will have been charged 10,000. That tends to be the max payout in common insurance. Okay, Absolutely. And I have heard this before. I have heard this. Spitz Energy, yes, they are a rip-off, and they fiddle like F as soon as you tell them you're insured. Are vets the new gangsters or something? Are they? Are they the new gangsters? Bloody awful. I would love to have a cat and job, but there's two reasons why I can't have one. Because of my lifestyle, I couldn't have one because I go away so much. And the other reason is that pets, you have to accept that in this day and age, pets are an expensive luxury. They are. David Coleman, it's so sad that people have to lose their pets. It makes me so upset. I love animals, absolutely. Capo, minimum 70 quid, guaranteed. Okay. So I've just written a few things down here. Who's this? Michael Janaeus. I spent at least $15,000 in the last 3 years of my German Shepherd's life. He lasted 10 years. He was my best mate. I'd do it all again. He saved my life once. Well, that's German Shepherds. I've never had a German Shepherd, but they're beautiful dogs, so intelligent. But $15,000, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, that is. I'm just going to just show you a few things here. What do we got here? So why is vets so expensive, okay? Why are vets so expensive? Because when you buy a dog, you buy a dog because you love it and it's cute and you want it as a companion or to guard your house or whatever. But when you have to take it to the vets, do you ever think of these things about why the vets are so expensive? Does it ever enter your head that when you take your dog to the vet, you are paying for not just the dog to get to get put right? You're also paying for quality vets, nurses and receptionists. You're even paying for the receptionist of these places. A well-trained veterinary technician works a demanding and sometimes dangerous job and is going to demand a good salary. So think of all of this when you're buying your pet pooch, that you're going to have to pay someone's salary. If the vet is not going to pay for that person, he or she will stop and find a better spot, and the vet will end up with kids, 5 in the local Berkshire. We'll end it. Okay, what he's saying is that the vet will end up getting someone who's not really professional, not properly trained, and is recently, being a young kid working at a bloody McDonald's or whatever. That's what he's going to end up with. They also have to spend quite a bit on receptionists. A good receptionist will get people seen on time and make the whole visit seem less stressful. Okay, and those receptionists also deserve a good salary, healthcare, retirement plan, right? Are you thinking of all of this when you buy your dog, okay, or your cat? Having employees is expensive. Having good employees and your dog costs even more. And then something else you've got to think about is about the vets. The rent for your vet's business and the land value. Anyone that has run a small business can understand this problem. Rent in the poorer parts of town is a lot less. Rent in shopping centres with lots of parking and next to major roads is a lot more. So if you're taking your dogs into the vet, it's probably better if you don't choose a vet that's in the town centre with high rents. Take your pooch to some vet that's out in the sticks somewhere. With lower, with a scabby little office, and then you'll pay a cheaper vet's bill. Do you think of all of this? Yeah, not something you see in the vets, but one alternative is to load your dogs in the car and drive away from the urban area you live in. Vets that live further out in the country where land values are low are more likely to be less expensive. There you go, there's a tip for you. Medication and materials. Well, apparently, if your dog needs medication, if you get that medication from the vet, you're paying an extortionate amount. Whereas if you use to buy that same medication elsewhere, you're going to pay a lot less for it. But then how do you administer it? Jesus Christ! If your vet takes care of exotic animals, the situation is even worse. Well, don't have exotic animals. And I've never really personally, I've never really understood why anyone needs to, needs a boa constrictor or an iguana or a tarantula. I've never really understood that. But so vets are they're an absolute rip off. But there's some of the excuses they give for being a rip off. They rent expensive offices. They have to have quality staff who are all highly trained and don't come at a cheap price. You've got to think about all of this now before you purchase that pooch or your pussycat. Alistair Taylor, vets are very expensive, but their overheads are ridiculous. There are no government subsidies for animal care, so X-rays, ultrasounds, etc., are paid fully by customers. Jesus. David Coleman, Virgin can charge what they want. Real pet pricks, okay? The Raven's Claw, it's all a rip-off for Britain, okay? It's sad factor. It is a sad factor. But, I've heard all kinds of ridiculous, like the old lady who had to have a dog put down because she couldn't afford, to have the vet's bill. Absolutely dreadful. Yeah, the guy with the Doberman, had to pay £10,000. It's all ridiculous. And as for pet insurance, is that 100%? I mean, because it seems to me, from what I've heard, that no matter, you may have the best quality insurance for your pet, but sometimes they'll find a bloody way to get out of it. Let's see, Mike from Wales. It's better to get your dogs and cats stuffed. It's cheaper in the long run. Good idea. Didn't Norman Bates do that? Leeds. I had my cat put down as it was old and became ill. Cost me £100 to have it put down, plus a further £200 because of all the tests. So it's all money, mate. Pets are an expensive luxury in this day and age. You just got to accept that. This is going to be a little bit in political, isn't it? Okay, oh, okay, whatever. Jonathan Barry, I lost my dog's medication before for an ear infection, which cost me 80 quid, and they told me to give her hay fever tablets for humans, and she will be fine. I was fuming. Vets are I don't know. We've seen the reasons why they have to charge such exorbitant amounts, but it still sounds like a rip-off to me. David Coleman, vets can charge what they want here. There is no law, dicks. And people will be, pampered pooches. Nowadays it's more expensive for your dog to have its hair cut than it is for you to have your hair cut. Why is that? That's balmy. Boohoo, $10,000 in 10 years, not including vet's bill to keep a large dog. Jesus. TV, $10,000 in 10 years. That's $1,000 in a year, isn't it? So what was that? It's about 20 quid a week. That's not that bad, is it? Really? TW. Vets are better than most doctors. Animals can't tell a vet what's wrong with them. Unlike doctors who want to tell them the issues. Just saying, people don't like self-checkouts. Okay. Bearded Pearsall. I love my dog and cat, but 10K. Okay, whatever. Whatever. But that's what they did in the old days, didn't they? I'm sorry to say that it sounds fairly brutal, but if you had a pet, especially if you come from a working class area, if you had a dog or a cat, and that dog or cat fell ill, you had to put down. That's what people did in those days. David Coleman, a lot of human medication will work on dogs. You just have to find the right one and talk to the right people, okay? Nick Ross, Eddie, get a fish called Wanda. I had a fish tank once. Paul Lassie, if Lassie got ill, he would be able to tell the vet what's wrong with him. Yeah, but he's got to come home first, hasn't he? Lassie, come home, yeah? Okay. Please yourself. Capo 17, a businesswoman in TV had to give up her 2 dogs and she sells food. It's the pet costs. Jesus. Yours Travels. Pet insurance. They say over 60% of owners have insurance. So it's like printing money for them. RSPCA are free vets for people on benefits. Offer free vets for people on benefits. Isn't there something else? Isn't it called the PDSA or whatever? Let me see. Cats and good coffee. To have a dog involves to spend the equivalent of 10 trips to Thailand in vet bills. So a dog over the course of a time, you can have 10 trips to Thailand to that. I think I'll stick to spending my money in Thailand. Mark Oleg, German Shepherd is the most loyal. My son has had them for 20 years. German Shepherds. I've never had a German Shepherd, but German Shepherds are, they're wonderful animals. They look absolutely beautiful. I would love a German Shepherd. The one thing about German Shepherds is that you never see a scrawny one. They always seem to be big boned animals. I mean, occasionally you'll see a scrawny Rottweiler, a scrawny Doberman, whatever. But I don't even ever really see a scrawny German Shepherd. They always turn out nicely, don't they? Alistair Taylor, that's too, Paul. Lassie may also be a vet. Very smart dog. Nick Ross, get a couple of Siamese fighting fish if you want to bet. That sounds like fun. I went to an aquarium once, and I seen all these big fish, but one of these, the most impressive fish was a little thing, and it was all psychedelic colors. I can't remember what was it called, a mandarin or something like that. But it was a little fish, and that fish had the most stunning colors. I mean, and it was so psychedelic and hippie-ish. I mean, it was so hippie-ish. When it swam past me, and the target looked at me and went, "Hey, man, what a beautiful fish." Michael Janaeus, I will only own a German Shepherd. I'd love one of them. Love one. Spitz Energy. Vets actually study longer than doctors. Yes, I suppose you've got to take that into account. I suppose you'd have to take that. That is what I've heard. McLaren F1 is a handy staffy could get personal with the veterinary. Said, I'm not. Staffies are all right, but you see so many of them. I'm not really a big fan of staffies, to be honest with you. Billy Bob, vets are doctors and they are highly skilled. Training as a vet is harder and takes longer than a normal doctor for humans. Okay, that makes sense, but we've said it before. It's sad, but you've got to understand in this day and age, pets are an expensive luxury. TW, think all dogs are loyal. A lot depends on how they are trained and cared for. Just because you have something doesn't mean you have something doesn't mean you should have it. Absolutely, you've got to be able to look after it. Paul Hoskin, dogs give unconditional love. Cats when they feel cats are crafty bastards, aren't they? I've had a couple of neighbours' cats that I've stroked outside with lovely pussy, and the next thing you know, it's a bit of a monk, this film. He found a way into my own, I wonder will he feed me as well? Get the crafty buggers, cats, crafty buggers. I love them though. David Coleman, I had my beagle for 12 years, and after she passed away, I just decided not to get another dog. I still, you do feel so attached to creatures. I had a Doberman once, a bitch. It was a huge dog and all that. You had the loudest bark in the neighbourhood. Well, when I lived in Liverpool, you bloody needed it. But the only problem is when it came on heat. The Doberman tried to mate with me, which is a bit awkward, but it done it in a kind of a subtle, sort of way. I came home one night and the dog was lying in bed wearing a sexy negligee. Oh, crafty mutt. Okay. Mark Oleg, I grew up around golden retrievers. They're a very, very nice dog. Lovely. Make good guide dogs as well. Nice dogs. Cats are good coffee. Cats are cool, but they destroy the furniture and spread microorganisms that affect people's brain. That is why cat ladies are kind of crazy, okay? They also piss on the carpet. Michael Gireas, the problem with dogs now is the breeds have bred them for looks and created genetic problems. It's a big problem with larger breeds like German Shepherds. Yeah, I've seen that. The sorts of they're bred for certain features. Oh, that's not right. That's not right at all. Boo-hoo! I had 25 Rottweilers and 75 pugs at one time. Got out of the breeding business due to ethical reasons. Yeah, absolutely. Understand what you're saying. Lewis C. Went to a party at a vet's house. Big house, wealthy guy. Yeah, they got money. David Heisenberg, look-alike. I would love to have a German Shepherd, but I cannot afford it as I cannot keep myself. Maybe in a few years' time I'll get one, and I like cats. Okay, good luck to you, mate, anyway. Good luck to you. Yogi Bear. Ed, my African grey got egg-bound. I rushed into a vet because I knew it would kill her. It was 400 quid, and at that time, it could have been 4,000. It was worth every penny. She's still there now, 10 years on. Oh, wonderful. That's a nice story. Glad it's all right. Parrots are beautiful. Oh, parrots. And the animal world's wonderful. Absolutely. I've seen some beautiful parrots, and the animal world is absolutely amazing. I mean, I watch a lot more of these animal videos. What I realize, YouTube's always recommending animal videos. I like videos with tigers and elephants and all that kind of stuff. Kiki on the Trail of Love. Don't forget vaccination. That's when they're puppies and kittens. Yes. Mike from Wales. In China, people don't take their dogs to a vet. They take them to the restaurants. Very, very good. Very, very good. Cats and Good Coffee. During my last trip to Bangkok, I was attacked by a bunch of soy dogs. I hate them. Do you know what bothers me with the soy dogs? I mean, I like dogs, but they look so manky, don't they? They just have that look that if they sank the teeth into you, they're going to have something they would pass something very, very nasty onto you. And another thing that disturbs me with them, when you're walking on those crowded pavements in towns in Thailand, there's motorbikes there, and you see a bunch of soy dogs, and the traffic's racing past. And I don't like it when you see a lot of dogs. If they start attacking you and you move out into the road, it's possible a vehicle might just hit you. So I'm not a fan of those soy dogs, but Paul Hoskin, a lot of people have birds too, like parrots and budgies. They did probably make nice pets. Mark Ollick, Bates stuffed his mother, and he kept it in the fruit cellar as well, as I recall. Lewis C. I would only have a dog if I lived in a village in Thailand. Okay. David Coleman, all creatures great and small. I loved that TV show as a kid. Okay. Let's see. Stephen Forax, thank you for that super chat, Stephen. We really appreciate that. If you look on GoFundMe or any of the crowdfunders, they are full of My Dog Needs an Operation campaigns. This has been going on for years. If you look on GoFundMe, you switch on bloody TV, there's always adverts there. They want your money for this reason or that reason. I mean, you only have to reply to one of them. You get bombarded with loads of others. Yeah, well, thanks for that super chat anyway, Stephen. Appreciate that. Eddie, why would you have dogs like Rhodesian Ridgebacks in inner city areas? Well, in the 1980s, when I lived in Liverpool in the 1980s, it was a bloody rough area. And you felt that you had to have a big Doberman or a Rottweiler to guard your property. Not many Rhodesian Ridgebacks around, but I'm sure they're pretty good guard dogs. I've seen one of them. They're big dogs. It was just a thing to have a Rottie or a Dobie. Cats and Good Coffee. Talking about animals, does any of you know of the monitor lizards that are around Lumpini Park can attack people in the same way Komodo dragons do? I think those monitor lizards, I'll tell you what I've seen them. If you get a boat through the canals of Bangkok, you go under a bridge, You go under a bridge and like there's all monitor lizards. I mean, what you see, those canals, the water is filthy. And what you see fish there with the, half fish, half of the body is missing, where the monitor lizards have at them. Those monitor lizards look quite scary, and some of them can be bloody big. Can attack people. I wouldn't get too close to them, mate. Wouldn't get too close. Boo-hoo. People in the West have lost their minds regarding their pets. Yeah, I mean, animals are lovely, but when people go over the top, I think what it is, it's people who've got a bit of money. They've got a poodle, and they take the poodle to the most expensive hairdressers. It's probably a fashion thing. My poodle goes to Anton the poodle hairdresser, and there's probably celebrity dog hairdressing and all this kind of shite in this day and age. But with the credit crunch, and the oncoming recession and all that kind of stuff, pets are not for ordinary people anymore. They're an expensive luxury. Yeah, yourselves. Yes, the PDSA. Yeah, I used them. Many years ago. Steve Taylor, Eddie, if you live near a PDSA animal hospital and receive housing and employment benefits, that's why so many big dogs on council estates. Yeah, I must admit when I was when I had my Doberman in the 1980s, I did actually take it to the PDSA. Yeah, I did take it there. Well, they were happy times. Let's see, Stephen Forex. My mum told me that when their cat had kittens in the late 50s, she told her dad was teaching the kittens to swim in a bucket. At least that's what she said. She left the school. Things were different then. Teaching the kittens to swim in a bucket. Oh, yeah. No, they even did that, didn't they? I know somebody, back in the day when they had pets, and the pet had a litter that they couldn't afford to keep. I don't even want to talk about it. Yogi Bear, cats. They are mainly small now. The big ones are removed often and taken to national parks, and the Thais want tourists to visit without problems. You see an awful lot of, you see different sized cats in different countries, don't you? In Cambodia, you see little scrawny cats, really little scrawny, and that's why probably there's so many rats in camp, big rats. Sometimes the rats are so big that the cats couldn't take on a rat. The rats are sometimes bloody bigger than the cats in Cambodia. You see this little scrawny cat looking at a big rat in Phnom Penh, and the cat's thinking, shall I? No, on second thoughts, no. David R. Nice to hear from you, David. 28 days before blast off. And we're not talking about the moon land. We're talking about Dave going to Thailand. He's going to Bangkok. And good luck to 28 days. So that will be early October. I'm off early November. I can't wait either. Nice to hear from you, David. The Raven's Claw. My goldfish eats steak and chips. Costs a fortune. Okay. You should stop taking your goldfish to fancy restaurants then, shouldn't you? David Heisenberg. 10 grand will get me a newer S-Class Mercedes car other than my 2004 S-Class, or house improvement on my house in the Bulgarian countryside, or holiday with either of them. There's a lot you can do with 10 grand. Philip Mulville, shoot them. Yeah, shoot them dice. Okay, nice to hear from you. Chaz Brown, Ed, I had a Springer Spaniel until she reached 15 yesterday. 3 months this year and had to be put down. Paid hundreds in vet bills in the last 3 years. Was a great loyal dog. Oh, well. I mean, a lovely doggy, spaniels. I do know someone who, sort of a friend of a friend, and he I believe what I heard, they had a Labrador, and there was a vet's bill of £10,000. He had to pay, he loved his Labrador so much, they paid a bill of £10,000 for something or other. And then about a month later, the dog died. Pets are an expensive luxury. Cats are good coffee. Komodo dragons are very dangerous. I do not see them being allowed to be in public parks. Well, Komodo dragons, you get those on the Indonesian islands, don't you? Is it Java or somewhere like that? They're another one. I occasionally like watching videos about Komodo dragons, and they look bloody dangerous. They can eat it. They can eat another animal whole. Oh, very, very dangerous. I'd love to see them, but I wouldn't get too close. Alistair Taylor, I cried more when my dog died than when my father died, and I love them both. Weird. Well. A good use for cats. Stop package thieves. Use a FedEx or Amazon box for a litter box. Once full up, seal it and place it on the porch. Okay, good suggestion. Boo-hoo. Pit bulls are the most loyal. This makes them dangerous and a bad rap. There's been so many. I think they're still technically banned in England. I mean, why would you want a pit bull in Britain? I mean, pit bulls are for meatheads who with shaven heads and rings to their nose and tattoos all over the body. And the reason that they want a pit bull is that they want the hardest dog in the neighbourhood. I mean, pit bulls a lot of dogs have taken the lives of kids. Where you've heard of children being attacked by dogs, but pit bulls are quite notorious, and I think they're still a banned breed. I mean, I know of a headbanger who had something that was obviously a pit bull, but it cost him a lot of money to put the animal in a cage while he examined it, and it cost him thousands of pounds to prove it wasn't a pit bull when it quite clearly was, and all that. Serves him bloody right. I mean, why would you want a dog like that in the first place? Stephen Forex. We had a Dobie Head, a beautiful dog, but real vicious bastard. Still got scars on my hands to this day. We rehomed it to a farm. Don't know what happened to the sheep. Dobermans can be wonderful dogs, but they're a little bit. They have to be. They can be a bit temperamental. Nick Ross had a Siamese pussy once. Bloody thing was mean and cost me a fortune. So we replaced it with a Burmese pussy, which left me for the next apartment neighbour. Okay, fine. Leeds, my bitch wasn't loyal. Wish I had put her down instead. Okay. Neil, a bloke goes into a pet shop and asks for a wasp. We don't sell wasps, says the pet shop owner. Well, there's one in the window. Like it. In UK, they say a dog should look like its owner. So what would you get? A look like what kind of dog would look like this? But what kind of dog? It would be a bulldog or something like that, wouldn't it? Would it be a bulldog or I can't actually think of that. David Heisenberg, my friend had a lurchy bitch dog a long time ago, and I laid down with her on the floor, and she put her paw and leg over me to protect me. Sadly, she passed away about 25, 30 years ago. Okay. Alistair Taylor, Ed is definitely a British bulldog. I like bulldogs, a lot of character to them. David Coleman, remember that cats were gods in ancient Egypt, and we were just about their slaves building the pyramids. Jesus Christ. Mark Owen, I had cats. Yes, they love to sleep with me. Cats are great. Cats are great fun. I love cats. I love them. Paul asking, petting a dog or a cat is the best stress relieving thing you can do. Okay, that's fine with me. Let's see. When you were with a dog, you didn't. When you are with a dog, you don't know how to stare that is threatening to the dog. Just get on your knees with your back to him and talk to the owner for a few minutes. It will be around. Okay. Steve Taylor, many years ago, we had a Labrador called Sandy that would get on a bus to the town centre and back again. Once turned itself into the RSPCA. Lucky dog had the tag on its collar. Okay, fine, thank you. Kiki on the tail. You should see the dogs here in BGC Manila. Some very affluent people there, all the most expensive breeds. Never seen so many fat cats in my life. Okay. David Coleman, I'm not going to put your comment on the screen. Mark Allen, I noticed the dogs and cats I was around seemed to have empathy and could sense when I was happy or sad. Yeah, they can. They're wonderful, absolutely amazing creatures. Amazing creatures. I mean, you know, I know a lady who's got a couple of those assistance dogs where she takes epileptic fits, and the dogs know in advance when a fit's going. That's absolutely amazing what they can do. Absolutely amazing. Let's see. SK Travels, nice to hear from you. McLaren F1 race. My mate had a bearded dragon. He used to whip you on the head when you were sat on the couch. Okay. Who's this? Jeff Newman. Komodo dragons have a poisonous saliva. They will bite, then wait for the prey to die from the venom in their mouth. I've seen some videos. Oh, Jesus, they just look like bloody mean bastards, don't they? David Heisenberg, Komodo dragons are on an island, and if they do not bite you with their cilia that has poison in it, they wait as you die, then eat as they follow the animal. Oh my Christ almighty. Okay, so well, I'm going to end this, and you know this little question because we've got a couple more little things to do. David Coleman says, "I'd love to go to the islands of the Komodo dragons. Their saliva is so poisonous that one bite will get you." Well, I'd love to see the Komodo dragons and to take a few photos, but I wouldn't get too close. Nick Ross, the UK, they now have the dogs. Oh, that's not very nice, is it? That's not very nice. I'll tell you what. On that note, I'll tell you what. We talked a bit about vets anyway, and yeah, I mean, you know, they've got all the excuses in the world for being extortionately expensive. I still think they're a bit of a bloody rip-off. But anyway, the thing is that the pets are in this day and age. It's sad, but pets are an expensive luxury. So unless you can really, really, really afford one, don't have it. Don't have it. Okay. So where are we now? Squeaky door time. Back in a moment. Okay, I'm back. Let me see now. Okay, I'm back with an ice cube this time. Famous grouse. Nice. This is a litre bottle. I think so. How much is this from Asda? It's about 18 quid, something like that. a nice hearty glass of whiskey there with one ice cube. Yes. Oh, lovely stuff. Nice whiskey. Mmm. Nice whiskey. Nice whiskey. Let me see now. Okay, Mark Oleg. Thank you, Mark. That is so kind of it. $150. Add this to your I Love All Dogs and Cats Big and Small fund. Also used for your upcoming trip. A great topic this evening. Thank you for that, Mark. I really, really do appreciate that. Like I say, I'll try different things on this channel. You know, any subject that's likely to be of interest. And well, I really, really do appreciate that, Mark. That's so kind of you. Thanks, mate. Anyway, cheers. Okay, so yeah, Mark is a good guy. Mark's very, very generous. That will go towards my travel fund this year, which I can't wait. And I was uplifted. I will talk about this on the live stream on the main channel, but I was pleasantly surprised when I booked my first 6 nights in Bangkok that the hotels, they seem to be good value. They do seem to be a lot better value than what you might think. So anyway, there we go. Let me see. I'm back anyway. So what I'm going to do now. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, we talked a little bit about pets. Well, I love animals. I would love to have a nice cat or dog and all that. Because of my lifestyle, I just couldn't have one. So that's what missing in my life. You know, I'd like a nice German Shepherd. I'd like a couple of nice pussy cats. But, you know, I just, with my travels, that's the only downside. I can't really have pets. What I'm going to do now is something a little bit offbeat. We're going to bring a few adverts in here, a few adverts, okay? A few adverts, right. Now, when you were a kid, I was born in 62, so I suppose when I was a kid, like, you know, like 60s, 70s, whatever, you may have had those comics, you know, Marvel comics. I mean, in Britain, we got the American comics, Marvel, and all this kind of DC comics. But did you not just love those adverts? Because when you were a kid, you thought, "Whoa, you know, this is in US dollars, but I want to buy that. I want that." And I've took out some of the old adverts that you might remember. Let's just have a little look here. Gemini Star, Mark is a generous fella. Yeah, he certainly is. He certainly is. Let's see. Let me see. Okay, Mark Oleg. Okay. Mark Oleg, we all support you, Eddie. Okay, that's good, because on a Monday or Tuesday evening, I know it's like, different hours in different countries, but late on a Monday and Tuesday in England, 10 o'clock, what the hell else is going on? I mean, you know, it's only, you switch on the TV, it's only the same old political stuff and all of that. So let me see. Okay, David Coleman, Eddie, you did not read out my tiger comment. No, I didn't. No, I didn't, because it's not politically correct. It was funny. Okay, Mark Alex, who went me, Charles Atlas. Okay, coming soon. Okay, so these are the kind of adverts that when you're a kid, you look at these, you think, "Whoa, I can really do things with this." And how about this one? The Secret Spy Scope. This was an advert in one of those comics. Secret Spy Scope, pen size, clips on your pocket, and power magnifier. 6 power wide field magnifier is great for watching sporting events, nature study, girl watching, and counter spying. Also contains Jesus Christ, girl watching. So you're going to buy this Secret Spy Scope. You're going to you get bloody locked up for that nowadays. And I can imagine when I was a kid, I wanted one of them. So let's see. Let's see. Who's this? Who's this one there? Come on, get over there. Stephen Forrest, Ed, I remember they always advertised sea mugs. I remember that one. I was trying to get that one earlier. In the back of the comics, always freaked me out when they showed them as in the artwork. Yes, sea monkeys. I remember them, and sea monkeys, like these little things in a glass cage. Okay, Mark Oleg. Yes, you obviously remember this one, Mark. Okay. It was this Cats and Good Coffee with X-ray to see the girls naked. Jesus, I mean, if this is what they were targeting, the kids must have been bloody perverts. I should imagine when I was 8 years old, I probably wanted one of them. Spying on girls, even that image, you get locked up for that nowadays. Paul Hoskin, I wanted those see-through specs. Let's see. I'll read that comment. Eddie read up on the big game hunter, James Corbett in India. I think I've heard of him. He shot so many man-eating tigers for the Indian government. I think I have heard of that. It's Reborn Itty. Can I order 2 of them? No Name. Love those old school mags. Okay. Stephen Forex. Viz used to have great adverts. They came many, many years later. That was actually an adult one. But anyway, Secret Spy Scope. That is for perverts. And how about this one? Invisible helmet. You know, $1.98. For $1.98, you can have an invisible helmet. Well, excuse me, but I personally, I don't want my helmet to be invisible. I want my helmet to be seen and be proud of it. Jesus Christ! Imagine if we went on a dirty massage in Thailand, and the massage girl, you know, said, "Where the hell's your helmet?" And I said, "Well, you can't see it because it's invisible." So you can, during the space parade, you can have an invisible helmet. Okay, Jesus. Mark Alec, our hormones are running at warp 9. Well, mine's when I go, we're getting those massage pads. Mine are running at warp 90, I think. Let's see, Capo 19. It was a normal front door spy hole stuck in a tube. David Coleman, Eddie, did you get the rum out? Yes, I did. The Asda, the next delivery from Asda, actually, they opened it for me. Thank you. Yogi Bear, the best ones here in the back page of the Sunday newspapers. Billy Connolly highlighted this in A Audience with X-ray specs, the one I remember. Farang Travels, he hasn't seen his helmet in years. That's a sign of getting old. Let's see, what's this? Eisenberg, they call you Peter a Wonga manga channel. That was decades before the internet. Okay. William, 2 guys disturbing the ship's crew in 1954 from the sea shall not have them. One said to the other, I don't know why, everyone else has. Okay. Paul Hoskin, I use a minute to look at my helmet. Okay. So anyway, for $1.98, you can have an invisible helmet. I mean, why? I don't know why. But guess what we've got coming up here? The one that we all wanted when we were kids, when we were, you know, naughty schoolboys. And what did we all want? What did we all want? We've seen all these beautiful ladies walking past with their beautiful bodies with clothes on. And what we really wanted was this. X-ray specs, see bones through skin, see through. It actually says that see-through clothing, amazing X-ray vision guaranteed. And look at the expression on this guy here with his tongue hanging. That guy, God Almighty, you walk around with X-ray specs, over the girl, you wouldn't last 5 minutes, be bloody locked up. Then, oh well, they were targeting young kids in those days, and the kids must have been bloody perverts. Let me see. Let's see. Tamaga, I remember as a kid ordering the sea monkeys. It was nothing but bright shrimp. Jesus. Okay. Let's see. Stephen Forrest. The good old days. The good old days. Paul Hoskins, that's what I wanted a pair of X-ray specs. And when we were a young kid, you know, your hormones are starting to work. You look at these lovely beds and girls in the mini skirts and with nice bosoms and all of that. You think, oh my God, when you seen this advert, X-ray specs. Oh, give me a pair of X-ray specs. See-through clothing. Oh, Jesus Christ, they were the days. TW, any alumni of Dicko University? Stephen Forex, when you can claim whatever you like. The Clan F one mate, Pattaya beer goggles. David Coleman, I wanted the one-man submarine. I think hasn't Vlad Putin got one of them. Yogi Bear. Yeah. Where did that go? Yeah. Okay. Marco, they didn't work. Hormones, man. Run that walk 9,000. I missed those days. I'm pretty sure they didn't work. I'm pretty sure they didn't. But I mean, that was advertised in those days. I still wanted a pair. Yogi Bear, I'm laughing my head off here. Okay. TW, belly sticks out further than the old dicky. Oh, Christ almighty. You're getting a bit vulgar there. Alex Hammond, I remember those X-ray specs and I used them. Okay. Any good? Any good? Did you see anything good? There was that movie, wasn't it, with Ray Milland, the man with X-ray eyes. It doesn't take, you don't have to be a scientist to figure out that if you could actually, you couldn't see through a clothing and see that, oh my God, see a naked body underneath. But people believe what they wanted to believe. Kiki on the trail. I love Benny Hill, those women, my goodness. Oh my God, fantastic. David Heisenberg, nowadays it is drone flying. Catching up coffee, they work in Gambia too. Okay. Stephen Forex, Gambia. Yeah, where is she tonight? Where is Lisa Dale? Reborn, Etsy and Betty. I think these were available to you in the early 70s in comic books in the UK. Well, yeah, in the early 70s. Well, I was a kid then. And this is very, very impressionable to the kid. You know, for a couple of dollars, you can get a pair of X-ray specs and all these beautiful girls wandering around town. You know, you can all see them naked simply by wearing these specs. Or so they would have you believe. I wondered if I had an old pair of those now, could I return them and get me money back? Let's see. David Coleman, I wanted to see through glasses. They gave me okay. So anyway, X-ray specs, the thing that we all wanted as kids. So now, how about this? Now, this is also really, really creepy. This is creepy. This is creepy, man. This is creepy. How about this one? How to hypnotize. It's easy to hypnotize, okay? Mail coupon today. It's easy to hypnotize. And the thing is, what is the image there? The image is this guy there. He's seeing a beautiful girl there that looks like a very, very attractive lady there. And who is he going to hypnotize? Well, obviously, he's going to hypnotize her. And for what reason is he going to hypnotize her? He's going to hypnotize her to have his wicked way with her. And, you know, I remember seeing these adverts. You know, how to hypnotize. You can hypnotize. And and I was thinking to myself, Jesus, you know, as a young kid, probably about 8 years old at the time, I was thinking, Jesus, if I could hypnotize people, I could go into a bank and ask them for all the money, and I can be a millionaire. I can rule the world if I can hypnotize people. I think I'll send off for this. So, you know, Jesus Christ, they put ideas into kids' heads. I mean, this is like, you know, you're hypnotizing for all the wrong reasons. Let's see, who's this? Pocano, Evening Eddie, Rearview spyglass always caught my attention. Good for you. Boo-hoo, my sister wouldn't leave the house because I told her the neighbours had those specs. Cats and good coffee. Some airports have X-ray vision, as far as I know, to scan passengers. Yeah, but you can't see them like the way that you want to see them, can you? Jeff Newman, they have them now in airports, okay? Mark Ollie, yes, he can hypnotize her while wearing the X-ray vision glasses. If you try to hypnotize a woman for the purpose that obviously what he's thinking of, this guy in the picture there, you get locked up for that. You get locked up for that in this day and age. How times have changed. Clive says it's called 8 lady drinks head. Okay. Cats and good coffee in Colombia can achieve that level of will control with the baranga, whatever. Okay. So that's hypnotized. That is really, I think that's really creepy, that one. Really, really creepy. That is really, really creepy. Okay. So AJ high karate advert. What a sexy one. That was Valerie Lane. Oh, gorgeous. And this is probably the one that most people remember best, because it was just everywhere in the from the 60s to 70s. It was always in the magazines, and you probably remember this one. And it was a very, very, very famous advert. And it was, of course, for those 7-stone weaklings who want to be big and manly, it was, of course, the Charles Atlas advert. Everyone remembers this one. Okay. The insult that made a man out of Mac. Yes. Okay. Now let me just say, Mark, yeah, Cassius King. Well, Mark, yeah, Mark Olin, Charles Atlas. Absolutely. Okay. Now let me just say what this is all about. Okay. This is really, really creepy. This is really, really creepy. Now, if you can't see this, basically, you've got Charles Atlas. You send away, and you had a few press ups, and you using the broomstick over your back to do squats. You have the body, but Charles Atlas. Okay, so basically, what this is this is the famous advert, the insult that made a man out of Mac. Okay, so it begins with this image here. The top image, this image here, yes? What it says is, hey, quit kicking that sand in my face. And as Baird says, that man is the worst nuisance on the beach, okay? So this skinny guy is sitting on a beach with his bed, and this big bully starts kicking sand in his face, right? And that's a famous saying, isn't it? Kicking sand in his face. And then the big bully here says, listen here, I'll smash your face, only you're so skinny you might dry up and blow away. Okay? Right, okay, that's a bit nasty, isn't it? And then this image here, the big bully, I'll get even someday. This is what Max says. But his girlfriend says, this one here, his girlfriend says, oh, don't let it bother you, little boy. Ooh! I mean, because he's he's not big and macho, and he's only skinny. She don't like him anymore. Says he'll off her hair. Okay, so no, this is Mac. This is Mac in his bedroom. Damn it! I'm sick and tired of being a scarecrow. Charles Atlas says you can give me a real body, all right? I'll gamble a stamp and get his free boo. Free, my ass. Okay, no such thing as free. So then the next one here, there he is. But he's admiring his new body in the mirror. He's admiring his new body in the mirror. Boy, it didn't take Atlas long to do this to me. What muscles. That bully won't shove me around anymore. Okay. And then the next one, he's down on the beach again. What? You here again? Here's something I owe you, you big bully. Splat. Okay. Mac is a man now. He's big and macho, and he can stand up for himself. And then finally, this girl, oh, Mac, you are a real man after all. Hero of the beach. There you go. So Mac, with the help of Charles Atlas, is now be big and muscular, and he's a hard bastard, and he can sort out the big bullies. Okay, now what do you think of this? Mark Oleg, hey, quick kicking sand in my face. Classic, absolute classic. David Coleman, X-ray glasses, and now we're all mugs, and people wonder why. Let's see. Mark Oleg, he threw a very nice right hand in the face, strengthened his shoulder as it should be thrown. Absolutely. I'm sure Charles Atlas taught him that. Well, William, does a tip go down, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, let's see. Nick Ross, how did Charles Atlas die? I don't know, he fell off the globe, didn't he? McLaren F1 race, this, okay, whatever. Now, what do you think of this advert? This was always, it's a classic, absolute classic advert, okay, from those comics in those days. But the thing, when you look back at it, I look back at this years later and read it, and all I could think of, it's not the skinny guy who needs building up. It's not the big bully. It's the bird in it. What a bloody slag bag she is. What a totally disloyal girlfriend she is. She's sitting there having a day out at the beach with Mac, and because someone kicks sand in the face, she doesn't want to know him anymore. He's a wimp. She wants a big hard man. Okay, says a lot for her. And then when Mac comes along and beats up the bully, oh, Mac, you're a real man. I mean, how fickle is she? How fickle is what a slag bag. What a bloody slag bag. Would you want a girlfriend like that? Jesus Christ. Nick Ross, steroids. Oh, steroids. Capo 17. Good writing. Good writing. Mark Ollick, Atlas was 80 when he died in 1972. So that's about 1970. That's, you know, these adverts were, he must have been in the 70s then when these adverts were going around. Amazing. David Coleman, we would all be hypnotizing girls. There are books out now telling you how to do it. Well, it sounds bloody illegal. I mean, it sounds as illegal as the date rape thing, doesn't it? Like, McLaren F1 race, press the like. That's it, press the like, lads, anyway. Nick Ross, heart attack brought on by, yeah. Excuse me, but if he was 80 years old, I don't think you need an excuse to die at 80. I think he died of 80. But anyway, that's the classic advert, that is. I mean, they were, I'm glad someone mentioned the sea monkeys, because I remember that one as well. And the sea monkeys are sitting in a chair, you know, like an armchair, you know, you know, nice big pleasant smile on the face. Oh, we believe stuff like that in those days. David Coleman, read the book on how to pick up women. It all comes down to the same thing, okay? Okay. So anyway, we're about coming up to 1.5 hours away anyway. We've had a bit of a laugh and a joke. I did say it was all light-hearted stuff tonight. All light-hearted stuff. Let's see. Mark Atlas had a heart attack. Well, you're 80 years of age. 80 years of age, you know. He lived to a ripe old age anyway. Nick Ross used Rippinol like several Hollywood actors used and went to jail. Yet naughty boys. Why do Hollywood actors need to do bloody stuff? Can't they get all the women that they want anyway? Why do they have to do something like that? Yeah, Stephen Fordex, Sea Monkeys. I seen that. I tried to get that one when it was, you know, uploading. I tried to get. I couldn't find that one, but I know that you the one that you mean anyway. So anyway, we're about 1.5 hours into this. And what else have we got? Got to finish this off with something a little teensy weensy, but nothing heavy. Nothing heavy. Oh, okay. Let's see. No, okay. We'll just do a teensy weensy big question, okay? And the question is. Is this a good question or a tough one? We'll see. We'll give it a shot anyway. If it's a tough question, then so what? Okay. What animal have you had a bad experience with? Okay. I know the answer I'd give to that one. What animal have you had a bad experience with? Who's that? David Coleman. We call lemon gin panty to move here in Canada. It works. Oh, I'll have to try that sometime. David Heisenberg, your car with a female doing the business with in the private park car in the pitch black night, and the police know in the window saying, "What are you doing?" You say, "What do you think I'm doing?" Okay, like Gillian Tailford. Okay. McLaren one race drum roll. Let's see. Sean Moore. He's had a bad experience with a hamster. Hamster. I mean, I had a little pet hamster. I can't remember what bloody happened to her. I think there was two of them. I think one had the other, and the other went somewhere where it shouldn't have done. Clive says the ex-wife. Okay. David Coleman, it happened to me, another man's wife. Clive says, yeah, the wife. He's had a bad experience with the wife. Okay, that's fair enough. Anything else? What animal have you had a bad experience with? I'll tell you what, I must admit, I do. Boohoo says muskrat. What is that? Is that like a weasel ferret sort of thing? Is that what it is? The thing is some of these cute little exotic animals like koala bears and what are they called? All those cute little bloody things that they look really, really cute, but when they sink the teeth into you, they're not so cute then. Okay, Nick Ross, an animal I met in the old Ferme one night years ago, still have the scars. Okay, because you'd like to tell us what it is. I must admit, one breed of dog, because it was attacked by one was a kid when I was a kid, was well, one breed I'm still wary of. I don't like is a Jack Russell Terrier, a Jack Russell. Now, Jack Russell, some people love those dogs. They're a very, very charitable breed of dog. Some love Jack Russells, and some Jack Russells can be really, really nice, but they can also be bloody vicious bastards. I mean, an adult Jack Russell was was introduced to the family when I was a kid. As soon as the Jack Russell entered the house, it attacked the cat. And I love cats, and I thought, Jesus Christ Almighty, this Jack Russell's only entered. Apparently he was trained to kill rabbits. It was a fully grown Jack Russell. And I sort of grabbed the cat, and the Jack Russell sort of big bite out of me leg. Nasty, nasty bastard. Nasty bastard. Okay, Stephen Forex. No, it's a cross between a beaver and a ratter. A musket. Oh, I know the one you mean. I've seen. Yeah, Stephen Forex, but you drove. I've seen it. Oh, I wouldn't go near them. Singapore down raccoons. Now, when I went, when I was in Brazil, and I went on to see the amazing Iguazu Falls. They have an awful lot of raccoons going around the place there, and they look like lovely creatures. But when you're on the bus taking you to the falls, the announcer on the bus just say, beware of those raccoons. They may look like nice animals, but they can be vicious and they can carry diseases, and do not eat food, anywhere around it, because they will snatch it and they will, attack you. So, yeah, Singapore dances raccoons. Mark Ollie, I used to trap muskrats and sell the pelts. I've seen them. They look like big rats. Yeah, I've seen them. Stephen Forrest, I used to watch that Minkman channel. He hunts muskrats a lot. Gemini Star, German cockroach infestation in the flat that our cockroach is really, really harmful to you. I mean, I was in Vietnam once, and I came back late in the evening from somewhere, and I was in a hotel in Vietnam, and I stood in front of the mirror, and not out of vainness, and as I stood in front of the mirror, I said, I took my shirt off, and then I seen something, what the hell's that there? And I realized one of the bastards had run up me back for some yuck. Gemini Star says cockroaches, yuck. Mark Ollick, Fairjack Trading Post is where I sold mine. Would take a baseball bat with me in case they were still alive in the trap. Yeah, I have seen them. I have seen them. Let's see, David Heisman, meerkats. Yeah, I've seen meerkats. They look nice. You get some people around, Thailand, and the nightlife areas. They have, meerkats. Don't they? Cute little. They look cute, but I wouldn't touch one. Boohoo. Mark Ollick will sell mine in North Bay. Mark Ollick says I sold mine in Minnesota. I've seen this animal, but I'm not really familiar with it. Let's see. Capo 17, Mr. Faulty. It's not Ratman in shop. This is Siberian hamster. Jesus. Nick Ross was attacked by a large baboon troop in the mountains of North Yemen. Got myself a Kalashnikov after that. Oh, aren't they bloody awful looking animals then? I seen a documentary recently where is it? It's in South Africa, where the baboons are in the mountains and they're invading people's houses and climbing in through windows, but the baboons are crafty. They wait out in the mountains until they think everyone's gone to sleep, and then they attack oh, Jesus Christ. Yogi Bear, I had a problem with the diamondback rattlesnake in Texas at the family's ranch. It made the horse bolt I was riding. Jesus Christ. I think America has got all kinds of dangerous sounds that we haven't got. And I see people see videos where people in their house and they've locked the doors and they're looking out the window, and there's a bloody big brown bear or a black bear is coming to their porchway. I mean, in England, we couldn't perceive of that. We couldn't perceive of opening your window and there's a bear outside. We couldn't perceive of having a massive alligator wandering across your lawn, you know. So in that way, I suppose we're lucky, really. Who's this? David Heisenberg. I walked down an alley in a pitch black night in Thailand, I think it was, and I heard a dog or two barking off, which I thought you were dinner to someone tomorrow. The dogs can be dangerous. Stephen Ford, I said, remember that YouTube video of a New York City? Apparently, got a terrible problem with them there, attacking a pigeon and dragging it down the subway stairs. Jesus, I've actually seen a video of a seagull swallowing a large rat whole. So seagulls are you know, they're not necessarily that bad. You know, they crap all over your car, but I mean, apart from that, they're not really that bad. And that bad. Another animal that I'm tempted to say I don't like, simply because when you're driving them at night time, I seem to have seen a lot of them. You know, a fox is a beautiful creature, but when you see it tearing the throat out of a poor little bunny rabbit at a night time and you catch it, it's not very nice then. But apparently, foxes. What I was reading about foxes is that in rural areas, foxes help enormously to keep the rat population down. A fox can eat, on average, about 6 rats a day. So foxes are not that bad. Roger Maroney, a fox terrier of a lady friend of mine, bit me on the wrist. Over 12 months later, it loved to stroke by me and upset when I left its home. Oh. The Raven's Claw, there are no meerkats in Thailand. They are mongooses. McLaren, I rode a horse once, and I don't, not for me, mate. After what happened to, you know, poor old Christopher Reeve, I don't think that's for me. Boo-hoo. We had bears as pets when we were kids. Bears look beautiful, but apparently they're, you know, very, very unpredictable. I mean, there was a story, wasn't it? I think a Russian guy had adopted a bear in Siberia, and he and the bear was injured, so he brought it into his home and he looked after it. And his friends were telling him to get rid of it, but he didn't. And one day, his friends came round to his house, and both he and his dog were both skeletons, and the bear had disappeared. So, you know, not for me, mate, not for me. Yogi Bear, the worst you get here is the adder, and it's like a bad bee sting. Really. Mark Oliver, we have lots of scary animals here, wolves, bears, and that's another video that I do watch a lot of videos with wolves. I watch some of them on Facebook. Such absolutely gorgeous animals, beautiful animals. Could you tame wolves? Could you keep wolves? You heard these stories of, you know, of an old lady in a cabin somewhere. You know, she adopts her. You know, she picks up an injured little dog that she thinks is a German Shepherd outside, and then when it grows up, she realizes it's actually a wolf. But gorgeous animals, beautiful animals. Obviously, we don't have wolves or bears or you know dangerous snakes or anything like that. Mark Alec, the bears from northern wooded area now come into the populated towns. Also, the local counties will pay hunters to kill the wolves that roam in some of the cities. Yeah, obviously because they attack sheep and other livestock, don't they? Yeah, you know, I don't know. We're quite a tame country, really. But imagine I pulled back the bloody curtains, I looked out the window, and there's a bloody big alligator, you know, coming across the. Oh my! I couldn't even perceive of something like that. AJ, those big birds around Sefton Park Lake, okay. McLaren, apparently, according to my parents, I made a great rider. We'll see in Pattaya, okay. Do a bit of riding out there. William, the mark apes on the Rock of Gibraltar can be vicious if you go anywhere near them with food. They snatch everything in sight. I went to, I don't actually know the name of those monkeys, but they're ugly bastards. The ones that you get in Ubud in Bali, the monkey forest. you pay to go in there, and they're vicious. I mean, they are. I've seen them bite people, and they snatch. You can't have a plastic bag with it because they'll whip it out you because they think there's food in there. Not very nice. Boo-hoo, I couldn't have a fox visited my house. I named it Tuk Tuk. You heard of people having foxes as pets? Singapore Dan, bobcats are no fun either. David Coleman, I hunted all my life in Canada. I was out west when a big grizzly bear came out of the woods. I did not even think of reaching my rifle. It just walked away. Jesus. Apparently, a bear, well, this is what I've heard anyway. If you don't disturb it, then it won't disturb you. It's only if it's got a pup, a baby bear anywhere in the vicinity that you're going to be in trouble. But we couldn't, I'd love to see stuff like that, but we couldn't perceive anything like that in our country. Kiki on the Trail of Love. I was stalked by a mountain lion a few years ago on the San Jacinto mountain range in Southern California. Seeing green eyes staring you down at 2 a.m. in a remote area is quite daunting. And it's probably a very good laxative as well. Mark Hollick, yes, they are beautiful looking, absolutely, but they're still wild. Yeah. Our wolves were talking about it. Oh God, beautiful, absolutely. The animal kingdom is absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. David Heisenberg, so long time ago, there was a group of people that some people are bloody worse than animals for doing stuff like that. William, the Mac caves of Rocky Bowl snatch everything in sight if you go anywhere near them. Keep away. Capo 17, Seagulls, McDonald's car park. Okay. David Coleman, I live even now just 30 minutes from woods with bears and wolves. That's it. Do you know something? I mean, if there's possibility of bears, coming around, I couldn't imagine going out of it, opening the door of a night time, going into the darkness, going into even to put the rubbish out of a night time. If I thought there's going to be a bloody big bear, that's going to. We don't. We're pretty safe in that way back in England. Stephen Forex, there is talk of rewilding wolves in the UK. Quite serious talks. I think they have got some of them in Scotland. Already been done with beavers, bison, etc. Okay. Gemini Star, riding hard can cause injury to your helmet. I think we were, is that a visible or an invisible helmet? David lookalike. Sorry, David Hasby. Barbary monkeys, I think they are, Ed. Nick Cross, I used to work in fit something or other in North Thailand. When it rained, all the cobras came out, lots and lots of them. Always had to be careful when going to sleep. Jesus, I seen a snake about a year ago down here in Devon. It was near a holiday camp, and I was driving my car, and all of a sudden there was something, a piece of rope in front of me. So I was, and then it moved. I slowed down and stopped up my head. I got out. It was a bloody big snake. Don't know what type it was. When it went into the grass. I mean, I don't know if that's somebody's pet and they've let it loose or whatever. But it's not often you see a snake here. David Coleman, to be honest, I got bit by a wildcat in Mexico. I had to go to the local hospital, get shots and medication. When I was in Mexico, I did love all those iguanas that you see, but they are beautiful, beautiful. I wouldn't have them as a pet, but some of them are really, really big, but they are beautiful, those iguanas. And also in Costa Rica, I was in a park once in Costa Rica and I've seen, these iguanas. One of them was chasing the other one. Beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. Mark Ollig. We also have cougar sightings here. Really, it's amazing. The absolute wildlife in America is absolutely amazing. Very different country than here. Nick Ross. Polar bears in Greenland. They stalk you with armed guards there. Yeah, apparently in Norway. Was that terrible event, wasn't there? Where those young, I think they were teenagers. They were in Norway. I believe it was Norway, and they were out sleeping in a tent, and they were there on an expedition. As young people do, and this bloody polar bear stalked them and came crashing through the tent of the night. It killed one of them and seriously injured others. I mean, geez, that's terrifying. Now, I mean, beautiful animals, but they're deadly, absolutely deadly, really, really deadly. You'd have to have armed guards for stuff like that. Talk about bears now. The cub thing is a myth. A territorial male is much more dangerous. Apparently, the most people killed by animals in Africa is by hippopotamus, isn't it? That's the main killer because they're amazingly territorial. I wouldn't want to go near one. Clive says, "I'll tame the dirty cougars." Good for you, mate. Yogi Bear, bears and wolves died out in the Middle Ages in the UK. Okay. Nick Ross, monkey temples in Bali, unfriendly. Yeah, they're ugly as well. The monkeys there are ugly. They're horrible they are. David Coleman, you people need to understand we have lots of wild, dangerous animals in the woods in Canada. We start camping here as little kids. Okay. I'd love to see. I would love to see them, but I wouldn't get too close. David Eisenberg, the bear is like dogs. Do not show fear, and they will not come to you and think themselves a bear. You are not a threat. Do not look at them as if you're threatening them. Mark, I once dated a gal that would qualify as an animal. I had a bad experience. Yeah, I've had one of them as well, Mark. Yeah, I've had one of those. Let me see. Okay, so we're up to an hour and 47 minutes. David Eisenberg, look like if I had a hood, it's a Cobras. The Cobras put the hood up to warn you not to come any closer. As if you do, it's 100% your fault. What happened? Okay. Boo-hoo, polar bears are found just north of me in Hudson Bay. Okay, so my least, like I say, the worst experience I've ever had when I was bitten by a Jack Russell, but a bear or whatever. I've yet to actually come across that. But listen, we're an hour and 48 minutes into this. We've had a nice little chat tonight. This has been something different, like in the Steady Eddie channel. We talk about different things. We talk about light-hearted, some heavy stuff. But I really, really do appreciate you guys coming along. Yeah, I really appreciate you guys coming along. A couple more comments and I'll say goodnight. Nick Ross, Thailand has some very dangerous elephants. In the elephant sanctuaries, one recently killed 2 visitors. Take care, mate. Take care. Okay, McLaren. Cheers. Okay, guys, I'm going to say goodnight now anyway, because Monday and Tuesday, we come together. We talk about different things. We talk about big questions. Some of it is light-hearted, some of it is heavy stuff. But it's always good to have you guys around anyway. So I'm going to say goodnight now. Yogi Bear says, Ed, it's been a great night. The more you get into this, the better it gets. They're on the other side. Okay, cheers. Thank you for that comment. Mark Olive, great live stream this evening, Eddie. See you in the chat participants next time. Okay, really, really do appreciate that. Thanks for the super chat, Mark, as well. Really do appreciate that, mate. Very generous of you. Listen, I'm going to say goodnight now. I'll get that off the screen. I'll be back on Thursday evening on the other channel with Travel Talk. And there are things to talk about, like the weak pound and the price of hotels and flights and all that. There are other things to talk about, travel-related stuff, okay? So I'll see it on Thursday night on the other channel. Listen, guys, thanks for coming along. Have a lovely day tomorrow, and I'll see it on Thursday. Cheers.